You're not speaking. On behalf of the town of Groveland.
Hold on 1 second. Eddie White, we get
We're not ready yet.
technical issues, hold on.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the town of Groveland and the Board of Selectmen, I'd like to welcome everybody. It was a great showing. This is a great honor for the town of Groveland to receive this $380,000 grant from Mass Works Infrastructure Program to signalize the intersection of Route 97 and Salem Street. We were honored to have with us from the state of Massachusetts, Secretary Kennealy, Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development, Senator Bruce Tarr. Everybody knows Bruce. He won't be speaking, by the way.
That'll shorten the program.
Representative Lenny Mirra, Maureen Crawford Hentz from Chesterton, sitting in the back. Jerrard, Whitten, Merrimack Valley Planning Commission, right here in front of us. You keep moving around. We also have with us members of the Board of Selectmen, Jason Navies, Kathy Castanellis, and Bill O'Neill. Also with us, Highway Superintendent Rennie Carroll, and our new town administrator, Rebecca Alderman, former town planner. She did a tremendous job in applying for the grant along with Rennie. But this intersection's been a problem for a long time. Negotiating the intersection has been challenging at times. The signalization will assist with traffic movements, especially dangerous left turn movements, which cause of a lot of crashes. There's been a location of several crashes, whether they be rear end or people just not wanting to take their time, wanting to rush. The intersection will become safer for pedestrians. It will also, with the pending housing project up on Salem Street and a couple of new businesses, you see some on the maps right over here, a little bit about them. There will be an increase in traffic in the intersections. This is going to be a big help. It's also going to assist a long-time business here in the town of Groveland, Chesterton. They're a short distance away. The signalization will make it easier for their employees to get to and from work, or it's safer to get to and from work. Thank you very much for coming. We'll turn this over to Secretary Kennealy, Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development. Secretary?
Well, thank you very much. I'm so pleased to be here with you all today. My colleagues in state and local government, great to see the senator and the representative and the town officials here today. First of all, congratulations to Groveland on this MassWorks grant for the signalization of the intersection of Salem Street and School Street. Let me say a couple words about MassWorks. It is the largest and most flexible and therefore probably the most powerful tool in our economic development toolbox. And it funds projects around the state, around public infrastructure and needs like this in all of our communities. This year we're making 56 MassWorks awards, $66 million in funding. It's important stuff. And it's always fun to get out and do these announcements and you hear the stories behind the projects. You hear why this project is so important. And you hear about the collaboration at the local level to make it come to life. So it's really, and we get to fund that. It's really wonderful to see and understand the importance of these projects. This year, MassWorks is part of something called the One Stop for Growth. I want to give a little bit of background on that. We have, when I first became secretary, I was sort of inventorying all the programs we have, and I realized we have a lot of programs. And there was a fair amount of complexity in terms of how we deliver those programs. In this case, we're talking about 10 different programs, all on different application deadlines, all with different applications, all with different criteria. And I felt like we were putting our cities and towns in a position of chasing individual grants versus coming to us and saying, look, here's a project that's important for us. Let's talk about how to make it happen. And so what we did was we took these 10 programs and combined them into this one stop. And at the front end of the process, it's not an application for funding. It's something called an expression of interest, where a community can say, look, here's a handful of projects that are important to us, and we start the dialogue about the projects and try to make the process a lot more collaborative. And so in some cases, we'll say, yes, right project at the right time, go apply here for funding. In some cases, we may say, well, there's a better program for you, either within our secretariat or somewhere else. In some cases, we may say just not the right time, but really trying to make it much more collaborative and consultative, with the result being it's just easier for the communities. And then to have that single front door for 10 different programs, I think is just a fundamentally different and better way for us to deliver the programming that we have. And so this year, we're making 196 awards to 122 communities through the One Stop. So we do these events and we hear nice reviews about how the One Stop process went. So this is really impactful stuff. And now we've been doing this for 7 years, right, as the Baker-Polito administration. And you can see the progress happening and see these programs really advancing a lot of good activity around the state. For example, MassWorks now, we've done over $600 million of MassWorks awards through the life of the administration. That's resulted in 21,000 new housing units, and it's leveraged about $13 billion in private investment. So we're having an impact, all of us together, and it's great to get out and make these awards and again, hear the local stories behind them. So congratulations to Groveland. It's actually my first time here. I spent a lot of time traveling the state, my first time being here in Groveland, beautiful town. Great to be here with all of you. Thank you very much. At some point, we'll take a picture with this, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Get the selectmen up here. Yep.
Great.
We'll need the picture of the front and the back so we can deposit it right away.
Yeah, come up with a picture.
Come on, Dale.
Absolutely. You're part of this.
Rebecca, Rebecca, why don't you come up?
Let's go back up here too.
Let's do,
Okay, yeah. Well, wait a minute, you gotta be in the picture.
yeah.
Right, Jason's trying to find you back.
You're
Of
very
course.
important. You wouldn't be here.
One, two, three. One more. One, two, three. Hey, excellent.
Can we get one with masks off?
Don't mind.
Oh, high school teacher.
Oh,
I do.
snap over.
That's
Don't go.
Hey,
Don't
Rebecca,
go, don't go.
yeah, stay in this one.
Wanna do
I want to
another
post this on our
picture?
sites too.
Can we selfie?
This will be on Lenny.com in a
Yes,
few
you
minutes.
will.
Okay, for Senator Tarr. One, two, three. One more. One, two, three.
Say cheese.
Were you smiling?
I know, right? I was thinking about that. Can they tell that I'm smiling?
I think they can.
I don't know.
Good.
How do you check your?
Well, let me see. Don't ever remember where you are.
Just want to make sure that they came out good.
Yeah, it's good, very good.
Absolutely.
Like it?
We're good.
All right.
Yeah,
Good?
Thank you.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. I'll give you that.
Oh, sure. Rebecca wants to check. This
Oh,
is
there we
the-
go.
Rebecca, you should take this away from me, right?
Thank you so much again. Coming on up to Groveland.
Yeah, that's so needed. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. We're all being so quiet.
Well, we're waiting on you. Next up to speak would be Senator Tarr. Senator, it's all yours.
And I'm not sure if you were trying to turn the microphone away from me or not, but I would certainly understand if you were.
Well, it's kind of slippery there. It keeps sliding down.
It is, I get it. I don't know. Let's see if we can, I don't really need it, but I know these guys do, so. At any rate, good afternoon, everybody. I'm really pleased to join with Representative Mirra and all of you to welcome Secretary Kennealy to the town of Groveland. It's wonderful to have you with us, and anytime you want to bring us a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're welcome back again. But I think you could get a sense from hearing Secretary Kennealy speak about just how innovative he is, and just how creative he is, just how practical he is, and just how effective he is. And all across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, he's been planting the seeds of renewed economic growth and prosperity, and also addressing the enormous challenges that we have throughout the state of trying to create housing for people that need a place to live. And he really has woven together a network in his secretariat that is helping to make that happen each and every day, and to do so in a way that's efficient and streamlined and doesn't create unnecessary bureaucracy in the face of trying to reach these important goals. And so it's really wonderful that he could join us here today, and it's always a pleasure for us to work with him, and no less so today. I do want to thank and congratulate the town. I want to thank Rebecca and the Board of Selectmen and everybody that's been involved. I know we have the police and fire departments represented here as well. Because really, when we look at the sum total of this grant, it addresses a number of the different issues that Groveland is facing. Obviously, it's a wonderful town. It's a place people want to be. But that brings stresses and pressures on infrastructure. And this intersection is a prime example of that, where before anything else happens, it already has issues with regard to traffic volume that can be addressed by better signalization and better geometric improvements, which this grant will help to fund. But at the same time, Groveland, because it is a great place to live, is attracting people who need houses to live in it. And what's significant about this grant is that it, in one way, helps to catalyze that to happen. But at the same time, it also helps to accommodate it, so that as we look to develop needed housing here, and I think we're going to be able to facilitate, in part through this grant and a second grant for planning that comes with it, the creation of about 200 units of housing, give or take, and also some increased commercial development that's going to create about 45 full-time jobs and some needed commercial space, which is also helpful to the town, because when you have a community this size, being able to spread the burden of taxes over a broader commercial tax base is really important. And that's why Chesterton is such an important part of the mix here in town, because it creates that economic opportunity and also contributes to that tax base. But the point is that instead of just growing and then trying to respond to the growth, this grant represents trying to plan for the growth and make sure it happens responsibly and in a way that doesn't compromise the quality of life in town, by making sure that the increased traffic volumes can be addressed and that things are facilitated rather than becoming a burden and rather than becoming a challenge after the fact. So this entire project and this entire idea, which had its genesis in this building with all of our local officials, is really a great example of how to be able to move forward in a smaller community that faces those kinds of pressures of housing, of public safety, of traffic infrastructure, and broadening the commercial tax base. And the wonderful thing about it is the Baker-Polito administration and Secretary Kennealy, as a representative of that administration, understands why that's important and is willing to come into a smaller community like this one and be able to apply hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to achieve that goal. So a great connection between local leadership of identifying the needs that are important and the administration and state government of being able to fund those things in strategically important ways. So a wonderful day. Congratulations are due to all, and well-deserved. And we look forward to seeing this project unfold and to continuing to see Groveland navigate into the future in a responsible, planned, respectful way to make sure the town doesn't get overwhelmed, but meets the demands that it has to meet as a place where everyone wants to be. So congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Senator. Next would be Representative Lenny Mirra.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. One of the hazards of this job is following Bruce Tarr to speaking engagement, but just one of the hazards of the job. So thank you, Senator, for those comments. This is a long time coming. We're all happy to see this happen here. I don't know if any of you know, but the very first house I bought was right here in Groveland, right on Ashcroft Circle, way back in 1987. long time ago. And Groveland's come a long way since 1987. The town is growing. We have wonderful corporate residents like Chesterton, who is here in the room today, and we've got a wonderful restaurant right across from this intersection. So this intersection has always been a very busy one. It's only going to get busier. So it's great to see that the state steps up and provides the funding for these lights. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, I think we're going to double the number of traffic lights in Groveland with the construction of this one. We got one downtown, this will be two. But we're still going to maintain our wonderful small-town character. It'll always be a great place to live and bring up a family. And so thank you, Secretary Kennealy, for coming up to our beautiful town of Groveland. And as Bruce said, anytime you got a check to deliver to Groveland, you let us know. Happy to take it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Lenny Mirra. Next, we'd like to introduce from Chesterton, Maureen Crawford Hentz. Thank you for coming.
On behalf of our President, Andrew Chesterton, our Board of Directors, and most importantly, the employees who turned left in the town of Groveland, I would like to say thank you very much for the investment in our town, because we consider this to be our town as well. We strive really hard to be partners and not consumers of our town's infrastructure and goodwill. And so this is not just signalization of an intersection. This is growing the capacity of the town to employ people who need to be employed. Hopefully we get a lot of people in the housing across the street from us who don't even need to get in the cars. They just walk across the street and have a nice, great job with some wonderful benefits. We hope that kids will be able to walk across the street and go to Bagnall. This is not just a traffic light. This is an investment in the way we build community as employers and town government and people who live here and love this town. So congratulations, we're very, very excited, and we'll be there on day one, turning left.
Thank you, Maureen. Next, we'd like to introduce from the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission, Jerrard Whitten. Jerrard was worked a lot on this project along with Rebecca and with Rennie Carroll.
Yeah, and good afternoon, everyone, and certainly congratulations are in order, both for the town in receiving this award and for Rebecca in her new appointment as the town administrator. So congratulations, Rebecca. Our organization, Merrimack Valley Planning Commission, has a great working relationship with the town of Groveland, and we provide services in a number of areas, including transportation planning, environmental compliance, and community and economic development. And this project is going to be truly transformational for the town, and it'll be key to the advancement of town priorities in many of these areas. Having lived and worked in this region for more than 20 years, I've driven through this intersection literally hundreds of times. And I can truly say that not only does the Tea Garden provide the best hot and sour soup around, but this project is crucial to the continued growth and success that the town is experiencing. In fact, Salem Street and Route 97 provide a vital connection between several of the communities in our region, including Haverhill, Boxford, and Georgetown, and make a critical link to Interstate Route 95 in both the northbound and southbound direction. Providing safe and adequate transportation network goes hand in hand with well-planned growth. So let me just take a moment to review some of the technical reasons that we reviewed this project favorably during the 2021 MassWorks grant round. The Salem Street Route 97 intersection was listed on the Mass DOT crash cluster list as far as back as 2013, appeared again on the list in 2016, and in fact, a recent traffic impact and access study that was completed for one of the proposed developments found that this intersection had a crash rate double that of other unsignalized intersections in the district. And as you've heard, if you're trying to make a left out of Salem Street onto Route 97, it's difficult at times at best. And MassDOT rates this as an F-rated level of service. So even before any of the development that's potentially going to take place, this intersection needed adjustment. Fortunately, the reconstruction work that took place in 2017 planned for the possible signalization of this intersection, so the engineering and current roadway layout support the addition of a traffic control signal. As we've been discussing, Groveland is a community that supports growth, and there are several planned developments that are in close proximity to this intersection. As Groveland and the surrounding communities continue to develop, the traffic flow changes, and this new design will enable people to travel the roadways efficiently, easily, and most importantly, safely. Safer streets make better communities, and better communities attract more business. Groveland is a vital partner in the Merrimack Valley and is now even better positioned for the future with this needed help from the Commonwealth. So thank you, Secretary Kennealy, Senator Tarr, and Representative Mirra for all of your support, and congratulations, Rebecca, on securing the funds for this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerrard. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the person that worked a lot on this project, retired Lieutenant Dwight McDonald from the Police Department. In the back room, he did a lot of work on this project. Lieutenant, would you like to speak?
Not really.
I thought I'd give you the opportunity, but I figured that. And also, great help on this was a police chief, sitting right here. He did a great job, along with, like Ed mentioned before, the town officials. I want to thank everybody for coming, and everybody that worked on the project. I know the police and fire departments are going to help, be a big help, because they're not going to have to respond to all these crashes up at that location. Well, that's going to take a little workload off of them. Well, thank you very much for coming, Secretary. Thank you, Senator. Representative Mirra. Thank you, Jerrard. Thank you for coming. Representative from Chesterton. Thank you. Unless anybody else has anything else, we can wrap it up.
I think we're ready to adjourn.
All right, thank you.
What time does the bank close?
It's closed.